Welcome, folks. Tommy O'Brien, company live from TFNN. Love those intros. That one's a good one for sure. S&Ps right now, folks. We got a little negative action in the market to kick things off. Down by 38 points, and as I come to you, we're testing session lows. You open higher, and we're giving it back right now. Now, you have intraday lows on the S&P of 25.27. We're just 5 points above that price level right now. S&P is off by 38 points at 75.32. NASDAQ 100. Now, you got some chip stocks higher, but boy, Google and Amazon, we're going to kick it off with. Both of them down almost 5% right now. Google, as I mentioned, at the top of the hour there, down nearly $250 billion in market capitalization as they have a couple employees leaving, and important employees when it comes to AI, when it comes to coding. NASDAQ down by 170 points, or 0.5% right now, 30,550. You got the Dow barely in the green. Okay, Dow gives back its gains. It was up almost 300 points earlier. Dow up by 8 points right now. Market's making session lows. Okay, pressure's been to the downside this so far for most of the trading day, and we just broke the lows. There you go. Yeah, I shouldn't say we broke it. We're right there. We just broke where we were, 75.31. We jump over to crude. A little bit of a roller coaster over the weekend. Talks looking to fall apart. They come back together. Progress is made. Crude down $1.74. We're at 74.11. You take a look at crude, and yeah, we got some nice volume trading lower today. Look at that, 289,000 contracts on the futures. Crude down by 2.25% right now. Now yields. Okay, we have an inflation problem, folks. That's a good thing for metals. If the value of a dollar is inflating, right? Gold should go up. But we also, okay, we have inflation. But we get dollar strength right now, and that's being a thorn in the side of metals in the short term, because you got the 10-year now above 4.5%, 4.51 is the number on the 10-year, and boy, you talk about a move in the dollar. Look at this move in the dollar from last week. You get Mr. Warsh takes over, and we just broke, folks, okay? We're back to where we were trading over a year ago, right? You broke above the highs we had in March. You broke above the highs we had last November for dollar strength. You do it decisively, too. Look at the move we had last week, right? You break above all of it. You close above it. That was a decisive move with a new Fed chair in town. And now we're challenging the highs of last May, and you break above there, man. And 110 could be in play, which is remarkable. But we got dollar strength right now. You're up another 18 pennies at 101 on that dollar. As I mentioned, gold. Yeah, now you back off on actually lighter volume last week. It was a short trading week, only 4 days, but you do 508,000 contracts in gold. The prior week you did 811. You take a look at the daily, okay? Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday. But today, look at the volume today. We got a big day today, 171,000 contracts in gold. We've bounced nicely from where we were. When you look at the lows, okay, those lows down here, 41.38, but we got dollar strength coming at you. Gold down by $35 at 42.10. Silver down by 82 cents at 65.50. Talked about platinum really under pressure recently. Down another $30, down almost 2%. And be careful of platinum. That's a tough one. Can't find a bid right now in platinum. Right, look at this weekly, man. You're right back to where we had some nice October strength, though. Even September in platinum. Trades up to 16.14 with some volume, and you're right back to 16.77. We jump over the VIX, 1752. Slightly elevated, but all things considering, not too elevated, right? And yeah, we take a look at the heat map. So we're going to talk about Google, Amazon. Look at some of the others. Microsoft off 2.6%. Broadcom off 4%. Oracle and Palantir 5 and 7% respectively. Micron, SanDisk, Intel all up dramatically. Micron 5%, Intel 5%, SanDisk up 6.2%. Check out SanDisk. New all-time highs. Look at this weekly. I talked about earlier today. Folks, that's your weekly. You put this thing on a daily, okay? On June 9th, you were trading at 1536. You're up almost 50% in this equity in the span of 8 trading days. 50% in 8 trading days for SanDisk. Now, I said this morning, you know, a lot of people weren't aware, right? The market wasn't there. How these memory, data, storage, okay, all of these for inference, all these chips that are going to be necessary. Nobody was aware when it was at $27, right? This thing was trading at near $40 in last August. But don't tell me that 8 days ago, The market didn't know that it was about to jump 50, as in just poof, things getting a little stratospheric, but guess what? Up 6.3%, $2,323 for SanDisk. And you're now at, what are we at? $343 billion market cap. Now, I was saying, folks, just last week I was talking about this, only 148 million shares. And for 148 million shares, when this thing was trading at near $40, all right, let's just do it. That was a $6 billion company. Could have bought the entire company last August for $6 billion. You probably would have had to pay a premium in terms of what it was trading at in the open market. But there's only 148 million shares, and they were all trading at around $40. That's a $6 billion company. That company is now $344 billion to buy the same company that in August would have cost you $6 billion. There are risks on a longer-term basis on these chip stocks, folks. Okay, they are a commodity. It's not going to ease in the next year or two. But what I find myself wondering, Russ, is, okay, so the chips that they're producing and the margins are stratospheric, right? Everybody needs them. The margins through the roof. Okay. What would it cost to get into this business? Well, in August, you could have bought the entire company for $6 billion. Everything they own, everything they have access to, $6 billion. Right? Don't tell me competition's not coming for them when the same company is now valued at $350 billion. Tell me where the logic is flawed, folks. And yeah, it's not that simple. But the logic is not flawed, okay? I don't think a lot of people would have known that $6 billion last August. Anyway, okay, let's jump over to Google. Speaking of numbers, you talk about talent, human capital. There's nothing like human capital sometimes, folks. And right now, that's more true than ever as certain individuals, right? I mean, you look at Anthropic, right? That gentleman left from OpenAI. You have to be in this ecosystem, as in just the brilliant people driving this forward are so valuable right now. And I've never seen evidence of anything. And there's a lot going on in this market, right? Amazon's down almost 5% today, okay? So, but the headline here cast it to a second AI star departing for a rival. And it's an important one. Google DeepMind Vice President John Jumper. He's jumping. Where's he jumping? To Anthropic. Yeah. And he was a key member of their coding development team as Google has struggled to sell coding. While Google down $240 billion in market cap today. How's that, folks? We're coming back with our man Steve Rhodes. We're talking markets, folks. We'll be right back.